A 31-year-old father was in the hospital this week after an incident in the Duval County jail. We have since learned from his family's attorney and multiple reports that that man, Charles Faggart, has died. He was on a ventilator, had been brain dead since Monday, and was pronounced dead yesterday. Meanwhile, very few details about that incident have been released. We spoke earlier with Nichole Manna, who is the senior investigative reporter with the Jacksonville Tributary, to find out what we are learning about what happened.
Yeah, so the initial information came out Tuesday evening. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office called a press conference to let us know that they had essentially suspended 9 of their jail staff, 8 of which were correctional officers. The 9th person was a sergeant. They let us know that it was over an incident having to do with an inmate, and that inmate had been hospitalized in critical condition, and that this incident occurred Monday morning. And that was essentially all of the information he released on Tuesday.
And so that word incident is still really all we know about what exactly happened inside the jail.
Correct. From the sheriff's office, all he has said is that there was an incident. He described it as a bad incident. We don't know anything else from JSO directly. From what we've heard from Charles's family is that there potentially was some sort of beating that occurred.
And so talk to us about some of your additional reporting. You're able to learn more about this man and have obviously been in contact with his family.
I personally have not been in contact with his family directly. I have been in contact with his attorney. She was the one who officially, released his name, officially released his condition. The family attorney is also the one who confirmed yesterday that he had passed away. Again, the sheriff's office is not releasing any information. So even on Tuesday, we did not know the name of the victim at that point. So the Tributary, just using classic investigative journalism techniques, were able to kind of go into the court record and go through recent arrests and kind of nail down who the victim was. From there, we were able to get a court document that essentially was asking for a reduction of his bond, which is a pretty common document you see after arrests. But this one in particular said that it was made at the request of Sheriff TK Waters, that it was an inmate by the name of Charles Faggart who was in the hospital and his family was requesting to see him. So that's how we were able to determine who this was about. Right now, the sheriff's office has not released the identity of any of the correctional officers who were involved in this. So we're still trying to figure out who they are and to learn more information about them and what actually happened.
And from what it sounds like, too, from your reporting, that the attorney representing the family of Mr. Faggart says they are also kind of being kept in the dark right now, too.
Yes, absolutely. We know literally as much as they know. His family's attorney said that they have not received any information from JSO, not even a phone call.
And so, what has the response from the community been to this?
The community, from what we've seen and understand, is incredibly outraged, really upset that yet again we have another incident in the Duval County Jail where we're not getting any information. There's actually going to be a rally held at 1 p.m. Sunday about this and about just kind of overall what's been happening in the Duval County Jail. For instance, we have reported in the last few years about medical neglect there. So that I know is going to be a topic on Sunday. And people just really want answers and they want accountability.
And what's next in this investigation? Any indication that there will be more information released, either anytime soon?
No. So JSO has actually made the step to call the FBI and ask them to come in and investigate the incident. which more than likely means it's going to be even harder for us to get information. We're not going to have a state agency, from what I understand, looking at this and releasing a report like we've seen in the past. So I'm not sure exactly what information we're going to be getting beyond what little we have gotten. I think we can all stand to believe that there's going to be a civil lawsuit that will come out of this. So we'll just have to see what comes out in discovery at that point.
Any what do we know, if anything, about these 9 correctional officers who have been stripped of their powers, and what their status is?
That's literally all we know, that they've
Okay.
been stripped of their powers. So I'm assuming that means they're not at work, not in the jail. We don't know anything beyond that.
Is this common for it to be this difficult to get answers in from situations like this there from this agency, or is this a unique in how tight-lipped they're being about this?
I would say it's not exactly unique. I think the sheriff's office is usually pretty tight-lipped. They really like to say that they're being transparent. They're even saying right now that they're being transparent, but that they just can't release information. We have seen in other cases where the community is outraged about somebody being beat up during an arrest, where we have gotten body cam footage really quickly, and we have gotten the names of officers involved really quickly. Overall, I think it's not uncommon for the sheriff's office to not release information, but it is interesting to see when you look at the overall cases when we do get information versus when we don't get information. And I think that also is contributing to a lot of the anger in the community. Is I'm seeing a lot of people say, if this was anybody else, if this wasn't a correctional officer, if this wasn't a JSO employee, we would know their name by now.
So where do things go from here? What should we keep watching for?
Where things go from here is really up to the FBI. From what we hear, it's in their hands now. So just waiting to see if and what information they release. And then, of course, like any follow-up civil lawsuit, I believe the statute of limitations there is 2 years. So I believe the family would have up to 2 years to file a lawsuit. So I'm not sure exactly when that will come down. Once a lawsuit is filed, that's probably when we're going to start to receive more information just through the discovery process.